Okay, my name's Zakashi, guys, and in this video here I'm going to be giving you guys a guide on how to build your universe rep team. Now this is USS, universe rep, whatever you want to call it. Universe rep is the new tag, but USS is the actual saga. With that being said, it's going to be a tag that's going to get buffed and most likely going to headline the anniversary, so a lot of people want to invest into it from now so that they can actually be good when the team becomes stacked. And you can easily see the pieces on the team are good, likes of MUI, Kaioken, we just got Ultra Hit, which you can see on my screen, LL17, they've got Jiren, a lot of big contenders that come out of the Tournament of Power. I even forgot SSBE. All of these guys could actually do a lot in the game if they actually get the right resources. But for now, I'm going to give you guys the best way to actually build the team, and I might mention actually some investment pieces that you might want to think about in the possible scenario that they most likely get some sort of buff, whether it be a Zenkai or a platinum equip. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button, man. We're on this grind to 40,000 subscribers. All my social media is going to be on the bottom of the screen. This is the YouTube channel. We've got Twitter, Twitch, Reddit, Instagram, and a Discord link all in the description below. Make sure to check me out specifically on the Twitter. The Twitter is where I'm most active. Discord too. During the Discord, it's in the description, but the Twitter is a live place. But yeah, I'm not going to hold you guys up any longer. Let's actually get into the video now. Okay, so one thing I actually want to talk about before I get into actual team building, because you might not have all the pieces, but just generally I call this the fundamental of team building. And what you want to do is set it by element, and you want to set this by sparking and ultra. Pretty much that's it. The reason why you set this as element is because it's misleading. So in this case, we're going to be dealing with rival universe, or universe rep, sorry. Let me not say rival universe, because it includes the universe 6 members. If you go to universe rep, I'll just say it like that. And then if you go to element here, some people have it as power level. Now I feel element is way more valuable simply because it's more ideal to have one unit of every element on your team so that you can counter any possible element that you could go up against. That's the best way to go about it. Not every element is necessary, but if you can have as many as you can, also depends on the team you're building. Generally speaking, it is useful. Well, if we set it by power level, let me show you why power level is just not the way to go. So right now we have Ultra Hit, who is easily better than everybody here, subpar maybe 17, right? Why is he at the bottom of the list? You can see that the power level is not accurate representation of what they're able to do in battle. So following power level is not a good measure to understand how you should build your team. So based on just what is often used in PvP, most popular units and the newer units, you'd most likely know who's already going to be good. So I suggest you just set it to element, and it also gives you a good sight of, alright, cool, blue's at the top, green next, purple, yellow, red. If you're looking for, if you know the color wheel, starts at blue, ends at red, and then restarts, you'll be able to find everybody much easier with this way. So yeah, that's the fundamental that I want you guys to take away. Really and truly, you only be dealing with sparkings and ultra, then you just set whatever character tag or episode you're looking for. Now ideally, I think this is possibly the best setup to cover all bases on a rival universe team, and you could easily substitute Bergamo for somebody else such as Ultra Kaioken if you have him 14 stars. But I feel like just at the moment, because he doesn't have a platinum equip, if he's not Zenkai buffed, he doesn't have the best odds. Now if you're wondering who the missing character is, it's LL17, who is the most important character on this team. Without doubt, he is the one that's going to keep your team alive. He is the one that's going to stay alive as well, because he comes with endurance, and he also stops anybody from nullifying endurance unless they're like permanent doers, such as the tag droids, Rose, etc, etc. So your team is going to be a lot more tanky, it's going to live a lot more, blue cards do a lot less damage, ultimates, etc, etc. You know, 17 is easily the most valuable person on universe rep. So if you're definitely looking to build this team, you're going to need a copy of him. Now, I'm not telling you to summon right now. So for example, you're looking at me right now, like, if I'm just saying all that and I can build a universe rep team, why don't I have 17? But that's because I'm banking on the fact that he will return during the anniversary. I'm expecting, and a lot of people are expecting, that the anniversary, the first part, the headliners, is most likely going to be something universe rep based, tournament power based, universe survival saga. So with LL17 being the most valuable unit on USS Universe Rep, coming out in January, it's the start of the year, highly likely that he will be on the anniversary banners later in the year, or at least some banner later in the year that will be more valuable, and you just have a chance of pulling him there rather than summoning right now when we're coming out of the festival, where you probably summon on all 3 parts, but at least Ultra Gogeta Blue. Not even to put aside that Ultra here has also dropped right now. So for investment purposes, I'm just letting him go for now, and then I'm going to take value of the team later in the future. But outside of that, if we just talk about all the other members here, Hit, he's an Ultra. Ultra, just generally speaking, lasts long. He will rerun probably a couple times, maybe one time before the anniversary. I don't know, considering that he's only coming out in January now, which is very, very soon. We literally just got Ultra Gold Geo Blue, which is insane. But I can imagine that with 17, and you can see through all showcases, you can watch many showcases, the value that Hit has on the team is undoubtedly good, given that 17's on the team. Without him, it's debatable, but definitely 17 has to be there alongside Hit. Those are going to be your main two. Now, Kefla getting a Zenkai fits very well on this team. However, I haven't placed her on the leader slot, and that's why I wanted to tell you that. You probably saw her position, and if you know her Z ability, you would know she's not buffing the team. She's only buffing girls and Fusion Warriors, and there's literally none of those on the team. But because everybody on this team is USS anyways, it's okay to put Kefla on the leader slot, and you don't lose out on Hit's Ultra ability simply because everybody on the team would be Universe Rep. So nothing's lost out. That's dope. So I'm going to swap over here. Kefla will have a Zenkai and whatnot. He's still getting a Zenkai buff from this guy, and this guy actually buffs Universe Rep. Everybody gets the HP, and MUI of course is going to get it because he's red. So that's just something to point out. Now Jiren, he's going to be your brick wall if you want to use him. Aim to at least get him 9 stars, I would say, where he's really, really usable. Below that, you're going to feel like he's not pulling his own weight, and you might be quite upset about that. That's my experience personally. He's at 6 stars right now. MUI, he's more of a stalling unit, so you're just there to really kill time accounts. You can get some results out of him, but you shouldn't expect much. I feel like he's probably going to get a platinum equip this year sometime, and it's quite upsetting considering that he literally came out in the 4th anniversary, and he died much earlier, to be honest. But with USS coming up, he has some value on the team, especially with his Z ability. His Z ability is pretty good. Now the team overall has like a mix of sides. So you see Jiren over here being a range type guy. What is Bergamo? Defense type. And I think these 3 are melees. And then if I look at 17, let me actually save this and go back out so I can show you. I believe 17 is a range type. Yeah, there we go. So it's a bit of just an overall offense, but it depends on the equipment you use, and I'll explain that in the next section. The equipments are very, very important more than anything else. The units are cool, but this is what I'd go for just to conclude. I'd have Kefla on the leader slot, so you cover Beast Gohan as the green. I'd have my next option obviously being LL17, so I'll keep that space open. If I go in color order, Jiren would be my next, and for me personally, I'd miss out on the yellow unless Kyle Ken gets a plat. And then moving on from that, we just have these two here, MUI for the Z ability, but you could use them as a stalling option, and Bergamo actually Zenkai buffing Hit. So you can see it all comes together pretty well. Build Jiren defensively, Kefla will be offensive unit strikes, but she also, if I'm not mistaken, every time she gets hit, or the combo ends, sorry, she actually buffs. So you can see here, the following effects occur after enemy attack is over. Restore 20% to health of damage received up to 20% of own health. And then you see here, for Universe 6 only, unfortunately. I don't think there's any Universe 6 members. It's just Hit. But she'll be doing her own damage, so it works out in the end. Now, this is not a necessary section that I've ever included before, but because USS is looking to be the next big thing, and they even got a new tag, literally the Universe Rep tag is the newest tag in the game, I'm going to include this section to just explain what units I could see actually getting more value as we move forward in the future. So we already know this green Kefla is getting a Zenkai. By the time you're watching this, she already has one, right? Cool. UI Sign is probably the most wanted Zenkai, and I feel like a platinum will not do him any justice. So I feel like this guy is definitely bound to get a Zenkai out of all of the USS characters. If not him, it would be SSBE, but I feel like a platinum could genuinely save this guy. That might be something some people disagree with, but either or, these two characters are looking to get some sort of buff. It's not specifically about what buff they get in this segment, but it's just the fact that if we're looking investment wise, it could be valuable to actually get them starred up. If we look at Hit's banner literally has 3 very useless units, I swear. Rose, he's useful, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of stretched it with 3 useless. But Rose, he got his Zenkai, so he's good. He's good on his appropriate team. Future God Key, whatever. SSBE and UI Sign is just like, what the hell? And then we also have Corrupted Zamasu, who's just a God Key member. He got a plat and it basically did nothing. Probably the most useless plat to ever release in the game. If I'm looking at anybody else, I don't really see many other big Zenkai players that I could actually say, but I would think if anybody, I'm going for Blue Topo to get a Zenkai. He would be a Zenkai buffer for 17 if he buffs Universe Rep. And something good about him is that he has endurance. Let me see where it is. Restores own health by 30% only once when reaches 0, which is dope. A blue purple with Jiren would be a tanky build if Topo Zenkais. And on top of that, he buffs allied tag rival universe or element blue. Now we know if Zenkais, they sometimes change certain tags, so if they change that to universe rep, that would be way more affected overall. But even if they don't, if we look at rival universe, there would be Jiren on the team, Kefla on the team, and it also already has blue, which would actually give the buffs to 17 out of 17. So that's pretty dope in my opinion, regardless if the top was to get a Zenkai. I think those are the big investment units if I'm gonna pick anybody. Let me know what you guys think about that. That's just my insight. I'm not saying it as a fact, but those three, more than anybody else, I feel are most likely to get some sort of buff for USS outside of characters that could drop. For example, most likely Goku and Frieza as a tag unit. People are probably definitely looking forward to that. I could see maybe a LL Kefla, but we just literally got a free to play one and a Zenkai, so I don't know about that. Maybe that's out the window. Ultra Vegeta, people are pretty tired of the Saiyans, but I'm just throwing it out there for sake. SSBE, by the way. But yeah, let's move on to the equipments. Okay, so we're going into the equipments, and I want to talk about this equipment so heavily because it's easily the most valuable equipment for the team. Offenses are going to win you the game, so you need to do damage in some way, some form. So this equipment here, you can see on the third slot, the first and second slot, they're alright. The second slot is good, actually. Strike defense. Most units that are actually valuable in the game do strike attack, so you're going to need a strike defense. But if we're looking at the third slot, right, I already showed you before, the team has a mix of like range type units and melee type units. So if you get 6 of these equips, right, whatever the first slot is, it doesn't matter, but it's more important about the last slot. If you get 6 of these equips, you need to get certain slots for certain units. So for example, if you're using hit, you'd obviously want to go for the strike version on the third slot. You get base strike attack 12% and melee pure 12%. If you don't know what pure or raw strike attack is, you can see the difference. Before it says strike attack, there's no base. The word base isn't there, and that implies it's a multiplier. If I give you a number and you have a bigger number to multiply it by, you can imagine the number is going to be big. So you need a large amount of base, and then the multiplier is going to make that number explode, basically. So having some pure is very important, but not too much, because you need a lot of base as well. But then when you add the pure, it multiplies it to a big number. That's how you gotta think about it. So having at least one pure equip is enough, really and truly. Getting 12% strike attack when there's a battle style melee type, which is probably going to be every single game, is very, very effective. There's a non-awakened version, but this is way better because you also get the base stat alongside the pure one. So for example, I was going to say hit would get the melee slot. Kaioken, you could go either or, but I'd say blast. 17 would get the blast. Jiren, he could get the blast. You know what I'm saying? Kefla is going to get the strike. MUI, he could go either or, but I think I'd go strike, obviously. Just off the fact he draws a green card. Green card draws a strike. But yeah, if you want to know how to get this, the memory you get in Zenkai Ultra Space Time Rush, and then going forward from that, if you want to get the unawakened version so you can actually awaken it, you change this to USS, and you can see over here you have the equipment here. It's slightly worse, so if you don't want to go through the hassle, you don't have to, but I advise to go through the awakened version. And you go to how to get equipment medal, you can see here is where you actually get next equipment here. This is the equivalent of what I just showed you, but it's a platinum equip, and it specifically builds it around defenses. You do get some base stats as well, and HP, which is very, very good. The first slot you can get up to 10% or HP, so I definitely advise going for a yellow or red slot. But in the middle and the last slot, so the second and the third slot, you get pure strike defense and pure blast defense alongside base blast attack and base strike attack. Overall, it's just really good. It makes your team increasingly tanky, alongside if you're running 17, which you should be doing if you're running USS. Where you can get this, you can get it from the dual coin shop. It won't be in the co-op section anymore. At the time I'm making this video, it is, but it won't be there anymore. So the dual coin shop, go ahead and keep playing co-op, because these equipments in the dual coin shop are going to be very, very vital for whatever team you want to build. This third equip here should be available in co-op, but it should also be available in the dual coin shop depending on when you're watching this in time. The first slot is pretty good, special move and health restoration. This equip can fit very well on MUI or hit, either or. Universe rep red works very well. You get double defenses on the middle slot and strike attack on the third one. MUI, I already mentioned I would run him with the pure strike one, the one I showed you before, but then this gives you 30% strike attack, which is a lot more base stats to get your multiplier up, which is dope. So this one you can get it from, it should be from the co-op actual event. You just hyperdimensional co-op, go play it. But depending on when you're watching this in the future, it will be in the dual coin shop. This equipment here, I like it because it actually gives you special move damage, which is dope. But the first slot is base blast defense. Now this isn't necessary for everybody because not everybody is a strike attacker. You would be wasting this equip if you put it on like Jiren or 17 because you want to be maximizing what they already have. That's just the way you should think about it. If they're a range type, you boost what they're already good at. So strike attack 35%. This fits on USS or anybody from the USS Saga Tournament Power, which is dope. Base blast defense, obviously strike defense generally speaking is better, but there are some blast attackers in the game, so either or is good as well. The special move is really what I like, and then how you get this is the ultimate equipment collection, so it's going to cost you some energies, but it could be worse. This equipment here, similar to what I just showed you, is for God Key USS members, so there's quite a few of these actually. SSBE, MUI, UI Sign, just to name a few. Kaioken, quite a few in the actual Tournament Power that are God Key members. God Topo even, I can see him getting an LF this year, not even gonna lie. This one here, you get both defenses, so 16% pure strike, I mean not pure strike, base strike on the first slot, but obviously that's the hardest slot to roll. And then the middle slot you get base blast defense as well as blast attack. So this wouldn't fit on anybody. I'd say go more blast based characters. So this could be useful for Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken because you do get some HP. He's always continuously gaining HP when he actually fills his gauge. Alongside, he can do a lot of blue card damage with the buffs that he stacks off of the fact that he fills his gauge, and he pops green cards, which is dope. So if you want to know where to get this, the memory, it's the Zakashi Space Time Rush Shop, as always, but the unawakened version is over here. You can see base strike defense. The stats don't really matter, but you can get it from the equipment medal shop. Now for the likes of someone like Jiren, you could definitely build him defensively, and that's what I'd advise you do, so he can just tank a lot of hits. When someone rushes you, you actually get that endurance layer for him, and already 17 on the team has endurance, and the damage is going to be a lot less, so that's already dope. Double defense here, 20% to blast defense and 25% to strike defense. Then you get 2 of your nuclear weapons buffed. Special move 12.5, ultimate damage 12.5, which is dope. This works for rival universe USS members, so it's not going to work on the type of character like 17, LL17. But Jiren can actually use this and he can actually get a lot out of it. You could also build Bergamo with this equip if you wanted to bring him out to battle. But how you get this is the memory from the Zen Culture Space Time Rush Shop. But if you actually want the unawakened version to actually go ahead and awaken it, you get it from the equipment collection alongside the equipment medal shop. But yeah, that's pretty much going to close out the video. I will not lie and say I didn't include every single equip, but the reason I didn't do that is because there are a lot of equips that you could use on certain characters that aren't specific for the team. For example, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, there are equipments that I could go through that aren't specific for USS, but you could actually use on him and not think about the tag as a whole. But I feel like that's for something else. You could think about him as an individual unit, but if we're covering the team, these are the equipments that are going to make the team whole, and they're things that you want to consider. You could literally just grind them in bulk and you can fit them in places. Going here, giving you millions of options, it wouldn't make the guide as efficient in my opinion, so I just made sure to pick the most valuable ones for the team. So hopefully this video was useful. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button, man. We're on this grind to 40,000 subscribers. All my social media is going to be on the bottom of the screen. There's the YouTube channel. We've got Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, and a Discord link all in the description below. I got my stream set up here, but yeah, subscribe to the second channel. It says it on your left. Subscribe to the second channel. Everybody take care. My name's Zakashi, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one, man.